Thanks to the support as a channel member, Gareth Davies. Well, boys and girls, it's fair to say, support on episode 1 of this series, quite good. As I record this at 8:50 AM, we're already closing in on 5,000 likes on episode 1. So I'm assuming we got to 6,000 in time for this video to be out now at 11 o'clock. If we didn't, then we should all just agree that we're going to get 5,000 likes again on this one, because then that balances it out and I don't feel so bad about maybe sneaking this one out a little bit before we hit the likes target. But let's face it, we wanted a double upload day today. We've got a double upload day today. Episode 2 now. Episode 3 will be out at 4 o'clock. We've also got episode 1 of my stream beta save is coming out on LOLLUJO 2 later on this morning as well. And there's still the opportunities to win copies of FM23 down in the description below, where you can also find the discount code to buy it super cheap. It's all going off at the start of FM23. Let's do some football. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my FM23 beta save with Chelsea. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we're actually going to play some football matches, our first matches of FM23. It's our first games of the new Premier League season, hopefully starting things off relatively easily against Brentford, famous last words, before a really tough early challenge against Arsenal. Since the last video, though, there has been a few bits and bobs that have gone on. We had already sold, I think we sold Hakim Ziyech in the last episode. We got rid of Juan Familia Castillo, who had been knocking around the place, and I discovered as well. And we've also loaned out Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Chelsea with a future fee agreed. They're paying his full £150,000 a week salary, and he joins them permanently for, I think it's in the region of, I mean, it's big money, if I recall. Why is it not showing up on the... Why does it not show up on here anymore? Football Manager, what have you... There's no way of me finding out. I think it's about 20 million. It's no longer showing on the transfer screen, even though it's a pre-arranged future transfer. It's definitely happening. But we can't get any confirmation here of what the fee actually is, which is bonkers. That used to be in the game. It does mean we don't get the fee for him now, so it hasn't really added to our transfer budget, but does give us a little bit more wage budget to play with. We used that extra bit of wage budget partly to recall Callum Hudson-Odoi from his loan, so he's back in the club. He was at Bayer Leverkusen for like 3 weeks, and we've called him back because I think he's going to be a more useful member of the squad than Loftus-Cheek was. And we're now trying to find a midfielder because I've kind of settled on us using this 4-3-3 system. And as much as I said in episode 1 that we need a striker, now I'm actually playing around with this, trying to pick a team. It becomes apparent we need a guy for just here. I've toyed with the idea of playing Mason Mount there, and then you could potentially put Pulisic or Aubameyang or Hudson-Odoi out on this left-hand side. Conor Gallagher is obviously here as an option as well to go in there as our slightly more attacking central midfielder. Or Kovacic can play there as well. I mean, he's quite capable of playing as a more attacking central midfield option. He's not really lacking for any of these attributes majorly, but the key thing is none of them really excite me in that role. I like Jorginho and Kante in there. I think our back four and goalkeeper are very, very solid. And even looking at that front three, although I'd ideally turn this into a front four with Havertz and maybe... I mean, we could potentially drop Havertz back, have Aubameyang up top and lose one of the central midfielders is another option as well. There's things I'm playing around with, but I think for now, I want another centre mid. So I am working on it. We've already had an offer turned down for James Maddison at Leicester. We're basically doing a full-on Leicester raid. We've had an offer turned down for James Maddison. We can't afford James Maddison, so we've now gone back in for Yuri Tielemans. If we can't get him, I am kind of interested in Wilfred Ndidi as well, who obviously can't play that same role. But I figured if I'm going to sign a Leicester midfielder, I need to make sure I mean it. So we're working down in order of value. I'm hoping we get Tielemans. I mean, he's still not a super duper outstanding, bursting out of central midfield kind of player, but his best role and duty is supposedly centre mid on attack, which is that role that we're going to be using. And looking at his attributes for that role, he can fit into that really rather nicely. So Yuri Tielemans might be the man who we bring in. He's under offer for us at the moment for our entire transfer budget. Hopefully we can get him in time for the Arsenal game. Failing that, we might have to toy with, like I say, doing a 4-2-3-1. But the reason I'm wary of doing that is because if we have both Havertz and Aubameyang starting, The only backup striker we've got then is Brozier. And I don't like the idea of only having one player who can back up in that attacking option. So I prefer to have Aubameyang as an option from the bench now, I think. Very much subject to change. So you've seen plenty of it already, but just to go through to confirm our team for the game against Brentford, our first game of FM23, we've got Mendy in goal, a back four of Chilwell, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly and James. Jorginho at the base of the midfield with Kante and Kovacic ahead of him, Mount on the left, Sterling on the right and Havertz up front. We have obviously got some nice strength in depth at the back as well. We've got Fofana, who's obviously just joined the club, Cucurella, Azpilicueta. We're certainly very good at the back. I don't think we're going to need to sign any defenders for a little while. It's the midfield and the attack that are going to need strengthening. And I'm still very much of a long-term plan that I want to bring back Tammy Abraham next summer. So I've got that at the back of my mind. It's a £69 million buyback clause that we've got for him. So we need to make sure that next summer we are in a position to spend £69 million on Tammy Abraham, which is going to be challenging, I think, because at the moment our next season's transfer budget is expected to be around the £25 million mark. So I'm starting to think in terms of who we're going to sell as well. We'll get the Loftus-Cheek money in next summer, but we now can't remember how much that is because I did that sale at like midnight last night. I'm pretty sure it's about 20 million. I can't believe it's not on the transfer page anymore. But looking through the rest of the squad, I'm not really sure who else moves on. Obviously, there's a lot of players at this club out on loan. So fingers crossed we can start shipping some of them out permanently. But that's going to be a busy job for next summer. There's not a huge amount, I think, that we can do now to start generating Tammy Abraham money. We shall see, though. Still 0-0, 15 minutes in. Not a lot has happened so far, but we do have a corner. James playing it in, and Thiago Silva's been pushed over there. I mean, that was clear as you like. Penalty kick. Thiago Silva just absolutely flattened as the cross comes in. You can go to VAR all you like. It's a penalty. I can't believe my first FM23 goal on YouTube is going to be a penalty, unless Jorginho misses. But I hear he doesn't do that very often. Jorginho steps up and scores the penalty. He is our first YouTube goal scorer of FM23. Of course, we have scored a few goals over on Twitch now. I will be live on Twitch again this afternoon, twitch.tv/LOLLUJO. We're managing the team I support in real life over there, Peterborough United. If you missed the first stream last night, highlights on that will be appearing on LOLLUJO 2 at 12 o'clock today. So you can get caught up on the highlights over there, and then we'll be live early afternoon, so just after lunch. So if you do want to get on at the ground floor of the Twitch save, get the highlights watched at 12, have a bite to eat, and then 12:30, 1-ish, if you're ready to head over to Twitch, we'll just pick up where we left off last night with that save. So lots going on, because then we're back here tonight, 4 o'clock, for another one of these. It's so much content coming at you for FM23. You don't even know the half of it. We've just scored another goal, which is lovely. James, I don't know why he's out on the left-hand side. I guess he was hovering out there off the back of a set piece, but cross comes in and Raheem Sterling at the far post, grabbing his first goal for his new club. And that's what I'm really looking for from Raheem Sterling in this system. Because obviously Kai Havertz, although we're playing him as a striker, not necessarily what you would consider an out-and-out striker. We need Sterling to be coming in off that side as an inside forward and grabbing goals. And Kovacic really looked the part as an attacking midfielder there. Am I rethinking everything? Because we're playing really well. We're 3-0 up on 31 minutes. And this was great stuff. Kovacic just bursting out of midfield, takes the ball off his man, plays the 1-2 with Havertz. In fact, it's not. It's Havertz then to Kante. Look how far forward N'Golo Kante is. He was the second furthest man forward, along with Kovacic. Our two centre mids have both burst beyond Havertz. And this is what you're going to get playing Kai Havertz as the striker, because he's really an attacking midfielder playing up there. We're not telling him to play as a false nine, but he's kind of just instinctively dropped back deep, and the two midfielders are pushed beyond him. And despite Brentford playing a very negative flat back six, they found themselves very flat, and the two midfielders just burst beyond them. And it was lovely movement from us. Liked that goal very much. Kante, now the deepest man on the pitch, true box-to-box. Kovacic is in again, and Mateo Kovacic has his second goal of the match. It's still only the first half, and I'm completely rethinking the Yuri Tielemans transfer now. Is Kovacic our revelation as a centre mid, just bursting out in this centre mid attack role? I mean, if you are taking notes, it looks like central midfielders on an attacking instruction still quite effective in FM23 like they were on FM22 last year. We're pausing for a second. I'm still drinking my morning coffee. Right, coffee consumed. First half underway. I've just downed half a cup of coffee, so if I look like a sweaty mess, that's why. I had dry mouth. Oh, having to rush these videos out. It's like the early days on YouTube again. I don't remember the last time I had to rush videos out first thing in the morning to come out later on that morning. How did young Kev manage this on a regular basis? Right, we are going to take off Havertz and have a look at Aubameyang in a Chelsea shirt, which does trouble me a little bit. Fofana can come on as well. Of course, we have got 5 substitutions available to us in the Premier League now. We're not necessarily going to rush to use them all straight away because we're still trying to figure out what's what with this squad. We do want to have a look at a lot of players. We also want to give the players that we've got a chance to show me what they can do in the position they're playing with. So in that vein, I want to get Pulisic on and have a look at him. And also Conor Gallagher. We'll perhaps bring him on for Kante and swap him and Kovacic over. And do we want to have a look at Brozier on the right wing? Or do we want to just save him to play up front? I think we'll just do that for now. Reece James is tired. Let's just bring Azpilicueta on. We've got to be quite careful with Reece James because without a backup right back, really, I'm not planning on using Azpilicueta long term. I know he's quite the big deal at Chelsea, but he's an old man. Very much with a view of getting him gone at some point this season. And I don't really want to have to be starting Reece James. So we do need to be gentle with him because we don't really have another option apart from James and Azpilicueta. So it's another area potentially we need to look at for transfers. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is a perfectly acceptable first day of the new season. How did Arsenal do? Because we've got to play them now. Arsenal lost. Perhaps Arsenal are rubbish in FM. Where are they? Wow. Okay. Manchester United. Sorry. Munufka 6. I don't know what the T stands for in there now. Muff TC 6. Arsenal 2. Well. Playing Jesus. I mean, Football Manager, we need to have a conversation. Martinelli up top, Saka on the left, Jesus on the right. Just not having it, but feel free to do it against us in this next match. Well, that was unexpected. Yuri Tielemans not even interested in discussing a transfer with us. Oh, he signed a new contract at Leicester. Is that a thing in real life? I thought the whole deal with him in the summer is that he was out of contract in the summer. He must have just signed that. Yeah, 5th of August. He signed a new contract 2 days ago. Well, that's Yuri Tielemans done. My director of football's immediately got him for Ndidi. I don't really want him. I was just doing it for the meme, really, of signing all the Leicester midfielders. So back to the drawing board when it comes to transfers. I don't really know. We already tried and failed to get Milinkovic-Savic. We've now tried and failed with Maddison and Tielemans. I still really think I probably want a centre mid. Well, with the Tielemans deal falling through, we haven't got another plan at the moment. We've got a couple of weeks till deadline day. I'll come up with something. It'll be fine. So Kovacic continues in midfield after that fantastic performance against Brentford. There are a couple of changes though. Raheem Sterling picked up a knock, so Hudson-Odoi comes in for him. And Fofana and Cucurella come in for Koulibaly and Chilwell because, frankly, I didn't know which way around to pick them initially, and I wanted to have a look at them both. So that's what we're going to do. So 3 changes from the team that absolutely ripped Brentford apart. Unfortunately, it looks like Arsenal have listened to my little tip about the correct arrangement to play that front 4, although it looks like Odegaard is injured and Smith Rowe is in for Odegaard. So still not quite the front 4 that is terrifying defences across the Premier League in real life, but a very difficult test for us early on in this season. It looks like with a lunchtime kickoff as well. Live on Sky. Goodness me. What will they think of next? Can we have a goal, please? I mean, we've started very brightly. And oh my word, that's confidence from Fofana. Please never do that again. Slots it through to Kante, but we do end up giving the ball away anyway. And Saka running from deep with the effort from range. It was never testing Mendy, but wowzers, Fofana's a confident young man, isn't he? I mean, to be fair to him, rating-wise, he's the best player on the pitch at the moment. But that pass could have very easily gone wrong if he hadn't threaded it through the eye of the needle to find Kante. And it's now a dangerous free kick for Arsenal on the edge of the area. Smith Rowe to take, shoots from range and scores. And it is 1-0 to Arsenal. That is not ideal, because this is where I think we face a real big test of I might be changing my tune and deciding we need to go and get a striker after all, because Havertz didn't play well in this striker role in the previous match. If we can't get a tune out of him again today, we might have to abandon the idea of playing him as the lone striker, stick him in behind Aubameyang, and then I'm kind of forcing myself to go out and bring in another striker, because otherwise we are going to have problems if we pick up any injuries, because we're going to have to change the system around again. It does mean we're then a little light in midfield, though. And also, if we're spending big money on a striker now, it kind of is ruling us out of bringing in Tammy Abraham next summer, which is the long-term plan. So I would like to make do with what we've got. But we're not really creating anything at the moment. We started brightly, but it's been all Arsenal since then. Smith Rowe pulling all the strings, which I shouldn't have said I was less afraid of him than Odegaard. He's putting in a man-of-the-match performance. And we're going to do our first shout of FM23. We're going to demand more. We're Chelsea. We should be better than this. Shouldn't we? Maybe. I mean, it's a tight match. It's not a disaster. Certainly losing this game early on isn't a huge problem, although I guess the supporters are going to be keen for us to find a way to win it. Right. We're going to take off Mount and bring on Aubameyang, who will potentially feel he's got a point to prove. Hudson-Odoi can come off for Pulisic, and he can come on that right-hand side. Who else have we got who's a game changer? Conor Gallagher. I mean, we've had nothing out of Kovacic today, so let's bring Conor Gallagher on as well. We'll give this 5 or 10 minutes, and if we're still not getting anywhere, I think we sacrifice a midfielder, bring Brozier on, and drop Havertz back into the attacking midfield role. We can see the goal immediately here. We make that change immediately as well. But that's 3 changes. Still 2 more to make. Love 5 substitutions, me. But it is Arsenal on the attack again. And once again, Saka shooting from way out and not testing Mendy. That seems to be his theme for the day. Can we create something, please, lads? Here's Cucurella on the left-hand side, now playing it all the way back to Thiago Silva, who's got time to pick a pass, gives it to Jorginho. Now Fofana and Kante again. Kante, I thought he'd given away the ball, but actually keeps hold of it brilliantly. And Pulisic through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Not necessarily the man out of our attack that we would want to be in that one-on-one with the keeper position. But it was him, and he's won a corner. And it's going to be Reece James to take. Looking at the far post again, aiming for Pulisic. Apparently, he's our main attacking threat. Gallagher now on the edge of the area. Tries to dance into the area, but is brought down. No penalty, though. Much sadness as a result of that, and Arsenal scramble clear. We're starting to get back into this a little bit. Is it going to be too little, too late? We have got the 4-2-3-1 saved, so we're going to switch to that now. I think we're going to sacrifice Kante. The question is, do we put Aubameyang up front or Brozier? Hold on, I've done that wrong. We're taking Kante off for him. So I think he's probably better as the striker, and Aubameyang coming off the left-hand side. So I think we stick with that. We've got to go attacking to try and win the game. Reece James, once again, tired as well. Azpilicueta, though, picked up a knock midweek, so he's not available. I guess Chilwell could potentially go out there. Or Chalobah. Chalobah's probably the better option, actually. We put Chalobah over to right back. All 5 substitutions made. Tactical change. We're demanding more. Have we got an equalizer in this? This feels like a moment for Aubameyang to get Arsenal revenge. That is a weird free kick from Gallagher. Aubameyang gets hold of it, plays it back to Gallagher. It's straight off the training ground. We obviously came up with that in the set piece creator, which allows you to do exactly that. Aubameyang playing it into Pulisic. Pulisic across to Havertz, and he's hit the post, I think. Or does Ramsdale get fingertips to that? Either way, that is the closest we've come to a goal. I think it is too little, too late for us. As we already said earlier on, we've actually played quite well today against what I'm assuming is a strong Arsenal team. Obviously, they did get thumped by Manchester United, but this is Football Manager. Manchester United are always good. Brozier's dropped very deep there. This is going to be our final throw of the dice. I think Pulisic coming forward on the right-hand side. Crosses to Aubameyang at the far post. There's your Aubameyang moment. Oh, he's had 2 bites of the cherry and can't get it past the keeper, but Brozier does. He comes off the bench, and in the 93rd minute, it's absolute goal line chaos. And maybe we don't need a new striker after all, because we've got this guy knocking around the place. A proper poacher's goal. Aubameyang testing Ramsdale twice. It's an excellent second save from Ramsdale. And then Pulisic playing it across to Broja, who just outmuscles Saliba. And it's Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1. And it's no less than we deserve, looking at those match stats. And poor old Arsenal, poor start to the season for them. But I think 4 points from those first 2 matches. Outstanding start to the season for us. Kev does tactics, boys and girls. Big brain video. That's what this was. Don't expect too much of that. But, you know, new game. Got to show off a little bit. Right, plan for the episode that's going to be coming out at 4 o'clock today. I can't possibly manage a Champions League club without showing you the Champions League draw. So, obviously, we're going to come back for the Champions League draw and then potentially show a Champions League match. Or maybe Tottenham or Man City or some kind of combination of the above. Either way, I've got some matches to play because, like I mentioned before, I'm live this afternoon, so I need to get that video recorded as well. Might be time to refill my my Arrow coffee cup. If you have enjoyed that video, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, loads of them during the beta in particular. Don't forget to subscribe to LOLLUJO 2 as well. And thank you very much for watching.